You know those anime meta posts along the lines of, "I was born with pink hair. The doctors told my parents I was a main character, and ever since my life has not known peace from demons or spirits or sports competitions or harems who find me." Well, I see that, and I raise you this. An anime boy whose appearance is, by absolutely anyone's account, completely and utterly average. Mundane hair, mundane eyes, not even glasses to set him the tiniest bit apart. A simple, unmemorable, unrecognizable civilian among a backdrop of millions. And he has a lot of passions, and a lot of ambitions, which he hones every chance he gets. He's dabbled in sports and archery and cooking, and just about anything you could wrap a competition around. And he's competed in many of these, every chance he gets, with all of his passion and all of his might. He's crushed by the competition every single time, until one day, something clicks for him. Something that should have seemed obvious from the start, and yet never was. As though everyone, including himself, was unwittingly blind to it. It clicks when he realizes every kid who's beaten him in competition, every kid who's gone on to fame and glory and acclaim, has been some candy-haired, gel-spiked, ridiculously dressed fucker. There's some trend there that this main character boy can't explain and can't understand, but he decides, this one time, fuck it, he'll play along too. He's got a model train competition in 4 days, and he's got nothing more to lose. He hits up the department store, buys the pinkest, noxiousest, fruitiest hair dye he can find, the spikiest hair gel available, and the gaudiest clothes on the thrift rack. He enters the model train competition, looking like a bubblegum gajinka, and he wins. Suddenly, the other candy-haired contestants notice him. They talk to him. They pledge rivalries. Girls notice him. Judges applaud him. Acclaimed model train aficionados offer him internships across the world. He's hit on something. The main cast expands to cover just about every candy hair cliche in the book, from the mostly normal-looking demure schoolgirl with the blue hair, to the Naruto-esque, yellingest boy with the red and green spiked hair, the cool Megane senpais, the purple-haired tsunderes. Suddenly everyone is interested in him. They're prodigies and upstarts and underdogs, and they truly believe that this main character boy is one of them. So the main character boy maintains his ruse. He touches up his roots at dawn every morning, and carefully attends to his gelled spikes and tells absolutely no one about this great, uncanny, unfathomable secret he stumbled upon. He wins his competitions left and right. He racks up the acclaim. He's hailed as a prodigy of all trades, just now bursting onto the scene, and boils to the top of all his candy-haired peers. He's rising up, his every dream within his grasp, until one day he gets a note under his door, taped to an old picture of his normal, boring self from middle school, that says, "You don't belong." There's an international competition, and main character Kun and all his candy-haired rivals, peers, nakama, friends, are being housed in the same hotel. The night before the competition, some ungodly scream sounds from the Naruto kid's room. The rest of the cast rush in, flick on the lights, and find Naruto kid sitting up in bed, his hair completely flat and utterly black, a pair of DIY salon gloves discarded next to his bed. He races to the mirror across the room, hands hovering in shock around his straightened hair, as though unable to recognize the boy staring back at him. It's an unsettling act of personal vandalism, but Naruto kid seems unhurt. After verifying he's okay and reporting it to hotel security, most of the kids are content to go back to their own rooms and just double-check their own locks. Most seem content. Not all. The next day, Naruto kid is eliminated from the competition nigh instantly. He's given no chance to monologue about his ambitions, his friends, his hometown. Not even a second spared for a flashback to the bullying that became the formative motivator of his childhood. No, he's summarily eliminated by another candy-haired contestant. Naruto kid, with his suddenly unassuming black hair, is dismissed from the arena, and main character Kun is distressed. There's a murderer on the loose. Just in no traditional sense. Another kid is shaved bald in the middle of the night, and eliminated from the competition the next day. Colored contact lenses go missing, and suddenly the red-eyed yandere girl doesn't have a leg to stand on. She's sent home without the slightest bit of fanfare. Someone funnels bleach into the sprinkler line, and a triggering of the fire alarm leaves a whole arena of contestants doused in the ruinous fluid. Their candy colors melt into brittle, tacky, bleachy off-orange. Not a single one survives that night's rounds of eliminations. Main character Kun is still pink. He's still gelled. He's still dressed in fiery robes and platform sandals with a bandana cinched around his forehead. He hoards hair dye in his room and sleeps with one eye open. He can only watch in silence as this gruesome assassination plot unravels, without a doubt in his mind that he is the real target. One night, there's a knock on his door, and the twisting of a key, and the squeak of hinges swinging open. Main character boy's breathing halts. His time has come. He looks. It's the blue-haired girl, the quiet one with self-confidence issues. Her hair is tied into twin pigtails. She's carrying something in her right hand. Main character boy braces for impact. She flicks on the lights. He looks. There are wigs in her hand. 3 of them. Purple, green, and orange. Each primmed and poofed and curled to extravagant degrees. Here, she offers, hand extended. Take whichever you like. They're extra. Wait, why? What's this? What's happening? She takes a step forward, and she shuts the door behind her. With her free hand, she grips the blue hairline at her scalp, and she pulls back gently, revealing netting. She drops the blue hair to the ground, and pulls the netting free from her forehead, and a loose, unassuming bob of perfectly black, perfectly normal hair falls around her shoulders. She's unassuming in every possible regard, mundane in every sense, a girl to blend into the backdrop of millions. We're not going home yet, she says. Not you, and not me. Chrissy, I want you to know I'm in love with this. The comb and the dye are in fact the real anime weapons of this series. I'm so glad they're wielding them as such. The main character girl wraps her hair back up in the netting and fixes her blue wig back in place. She takes a seat in the nearby desk chair and explains why she's here. She suspected for a while that she and MC Kun are the same, both normal-looking people masquerading in this candy-haired world. MC Kun had seemed just a bit too distraught during the Naruto Kid incident. That was when main character Chan first noticed him, and when she recognized his shade of candy pink hair by its bottle brand. MC Chan explains that she had lived a very normal and unassuming life. She did stage crew in middle school for the drama club, always the unnoticed extra in the background, sweeping in silently, covertly, under darkness to handle the scene changes and wardrobe transformations. She honed her skills making props and costumes for the drama kids, till she was a master of needle and thread, dyes and combs, and props built from paper and plastic. She thinks it was that attention to detail she cultivated in prop design that let her finally see what MC Kun had seen, the candy-haired world around her that constantly overshadowed whatever she did. One day, she put on the wig, and she never looked back. But she doesn't know who the hair assassin is either, any more than MC Kun. There's still strength in numbers, and she figures if they work together, their odds of survival are greater. MC Kun agrees. The next day is a free day for the kids competing in this international competition. The morning passes with most of the contestants montaging through a romp in the city, tasting local cuisine and window shopping around the market area, and getting into Kodak moment-worthy shenanigans. MC Kun and MC Chan steal away to a quiet park, sitting at a picnic table, putting pink and blue heads together to talk through all the info they have, and what options are open to them. They don't get very far. A glasses-wearing girl appears from behind the bushes and stops them cold. Glasses Girl is small and wiry, mousy in her frame. She has orange hair that poofs around her head, cropped at chin level, in a way that reminds MC Kun vaguely of a roosting chicken. Her glasses are normal on her freckled face, and they capture the light, obscuring her eyes behind their glare. You two. You're fakes, aren't you? Both of you. MC Kun stops cold. MC Chan spins around in her seat, wide-eyed. I don't even know what that means. Go away before we... Glasses Girl pulls an immaculate, highly stylized laptop from her bag. She flips it open with one hand, propping it on the table and typing furiously. Too fast to even see her fingers. Audio begins to play from the laptop speakers. We're not going home yet. Not you, and not me. I hacked into your phone last night, Gigi-chan states simply, head tilted toward MC Kun. I've heard the whole conversation. How? MC-kun asks. He holds his phone at a distance, like it's suddenly venomous. Gigi-chan shifts. Suddenly, the glare of her glasses is no longer obstructing her eyes. Behind the Coke bottle look is an expression of pure brown-knitted confusion. I don't actually know. I just could. Gigi-chan was an art student. A not very good at all art student, and a very much below average competitor in sculpting competitions. She was plain and unassuming and inconspicuous, and jealous of the better established art students around her with their own flashy styles. Her peers wore giant, non-prescription glasses. They dyed their hair bright colors and cropped it short to perfect hipster chic. Gigi-chan tried to imitate that, but as a truly not fantastic artist, she couldn't even pull that off. She dyed her hair, picked out glasses, overshot hipster, and landed firmly in geek. She landed so firmly in geek that internationally acclaimed hacker abilities spawned with her makeover. Suddenly, she could break into anything, override anything, hack or fix or erase anything over a permanent Wi-Fi connection that followed her as its hotspot. Her laptop never loses charge. Her bash scripts never fail. Her glasses always glint in the slightest bit of light and slide down her nose so that she has to keep her middle finger pressed firmly to the bridge at all times. She's afraid of being sent home in ruin, sent back to her life as a mediocre art student. Gigi-chan wants to join the effort to not be eliminated. A day passes. Gigi-chan has hacked all the email accounts of the registered contestants and has found nothing suspicious. MC-chan has spent her time crafting shorter hair wigs to give to MC-kun and Gigi-chan as backups. MC-kun has been trying his best to understand what he's gotten into. He bought a few extra obnoxious bandanas to bolster his obnoxious outfit, as if that might help. They're sitting quietly at lunch, eating in silence, with no new information to share, and no desire to attract unwanted attention from the contestants around them. Oh my, what is this? Has this pathetic posse of plebeians formed a little club? Oh, how quaint! MC-chan chokes on her noodles. Gigi-chan startles. MC-kun groans. The voice belongs to a platinum blonde boy, dressed to the nines, who sidled up to the table unannounced. He reeks of ambition and money and arrogance and a very particular high-end cologne, and he laughs heartily at his own joke. He flicks a lock of blonde hair from his face, which all but sparkles. MC-kun recognizes this kid. He was one of the first candy-haired kids to declare an eternal rivalry with him. What's it to you? MC-kun challenges, already ticked off. And the rich blonde rival boy deflates, comically, pale and hollow-cheeked and exhausted, suddenly leaning against their lunch table, speaking in a rasp. Please let me join you. I've been wearing this Gucci suit for 2 weeks straight. I don't have any others. No one answers immediately. No one has anything resembling an answer. Then buy another suit, MC-kun says. Do I look like I'm made of money to you? Yes? Aha! Yes, that is the point. Well, you see, and RBR-kun pulls out a soggy PB&J from his bag, slumps into an open seat at the table, his eyes dull and matte, solemnly chewing his lunch. Can one of you spot me like $150 for the bus ride to the competition arena tomorrow? I spent the last of my money on this bread. MC-kun. What? RBR-kun. I don't have any money. MC-kun. Why are you acting like a rich boy if you don't have money? RBR-kun. Look, it just kind of happened, okay? MC-kun. What do you mean it just kind of happened? And well, it just kind of happened. Rich blonde rival boy is as fake as they come. He grew up in a modest household, making money over the summer by doing yard work for neighbors. He was fairly frugal and quiet and unassuming, until his grandma bought him a nice tux for the school dance, and he dyed his hair platinum blonde on a dare, and suddenly the world was in his pocket. Suddenly he had connections in high places. Suddenly he could have waitstaff doting on him at a moment's notice. Suddenly he could summon helicopters at the snap of his fingers, and have any product imaginable, legal or not, airlifted to him on a whim. Everyone was his pawn. Everything bent to his will. Ever since then, he's been unstoppable in his ambitions. He just doesn't have any of the actual money to maintain this. All his cards are overdrafted. His credit is in the toilet. Several different loan sharks technically own the rights to his immortal soul. Rich blonde rival boy wants in on the league of background characters because he is utterly afraid of the ruin he faces if he is exposed. If the others get assassinated, they get sent home. If RBR-kun gets assassinated, the debtors will drag him out by his toes. A scuffle erupts over by the lunch line before anyone can give RBR-kun an answer. It's over in an instant. A shriek, a clatter, a tray and knife hitting the ground. The biker ruffian boy with the blue mohawk lies on the floor. His shorn-off mohawk spikes lie on the platter, as if being served to the cafeteria at large. Worried murmurs break out in the crowd. No one had seen the knife wielder. No one had seen anything, as if the act were committed by someone impossible to even notice. More kids! More kids! More kids! My father will hear about this. His father is a plumber. Overdrafted. Get add, get commit, get good. New prescription. Last part, conclusion and all, and it's long. And the one thing worth noting, MC-chan is now MG-chan, as in main girl-chan, to avoid mixing up her name with MC-kun. Enjoy! There's a sustained hush, like a breath held too long. It's a blooming, crawling, clawing wave of realization that takes the cafeteria captive. Heads turn, voices fall silent. Clueless candy hair after clueless candy hair takes in the murder scene. Mohawk spikes presented so curiously, so esoterically plattered, as if part of the lunch selection. The dish itself is a warning. MG-chan understands that much. She feels the bloodlust in the air, and it's closer now. She edges her chair away from the table. Her nerves are alight. Run, MG-chan says. Sorry? MC-kun replies. MG-chan kicks her chair back, lighting to her feet. Run! And at that moment, a sound like a cannonball fires, the silence breaking. People startle at the noise, but it's the boy sitting one table over, directly across from MC-kun, who jolts entirely sideways in his seat. He's the contestant whose hair had been coiffed perfectly into a cartoon whale, pallid blue and deep ocean undertones brimming through his hairline. He stares forward, as if stunned. The girl next to him asks if he's okay. He turns to her slowly and reveals the entire right half of his face has been consumed in a wad of bubble gum. He raises one shaking hand to his whale tail, now webbed in gum, and he collapses, and all hell breaks loose. MG-chan has MC-kun by the shoulder before he can process it. They're running. Them and Gigi-chan and RBR-kun. Them and almost everyone else. A breathing, screaming, massive panic as people shove and knee and elbow their way through the crowd. Where are we going? MC-kun asks. He's stumbling to keep pace with MG-chan, one hand pressed protectively to the bandana on his forehead in danger of slipping off. Away from here! Outside! MG-chan throws her weight against the cafeteria door. It slams open. Wherever we're not sitting targets. Their feet beat against the linoleum below, into the hotel foyer, but it's no good. The bloodlust presence doesn't fade. It does not grow weaker. Instead, it gains on them, like heat, like a house fire that lashes out at their heels and trips them with each step. Another two kids go down with the sound of razor blades and a puff of shorn hair, like dandelion fluff blown in the wind. MG-chan, MC-kun, Gigi-chan, and RBR-kun all burst out the hotel front doors. RBR-kun with a shriek and a graceful leap over a half-shaved, unconscious student on the floor. How did he go down? I didn't even see him go down! RBR-kun shouts, pointing to the kid he faulted. Invisibility? Is the murderer invisible? Maybe super speed. Really, any superpower is possible among these people. We can't rule anything out. Gigi-chan has her laptop out, balanced precariously on the crook of her arm. She types one-handed while she runs. If I can hack into the security cameras, maybe I can activate the infrared sensors and get a reading on... There's a crack, a gasp. MG, MC, and RBR all look back to find Gigi-chan frozen in place. Her glasses are shattered, pinned to the wall beside her by a single needle-thin arrow. My glasses! Gigi-chan blinks and stares at her laptop like it's something entirely foreign to her. What is this? What was I... MG-chan grabs her arm too. Never mind. Run! Just run! The streets are thinning. Roadways become cobblestone, churned up and ill cared for. They wind with the streets, and the walls of neighboring buildings grow taller, as though steepling in around them. One last sharp right turn brings them down a damp alleyway to a dead-end wall towering high. Slick with sweat, MG-chan drops her grip on MC-kun. Her neck cranes to the top of the alleyway. She leans backwards, trapped, appraising. "It's a dead end." Gigi-chan points back toward the entrance of the alleyway. "We have to turn back around. Quick, before he finds us." Gigi-chan freezes. The plick of water behind them captures her attention, like the footfall of someone walking between raindrops. The bloodlust breathes louder. They see nothing. They hear no one. But all four of them feel it now. The predatorial intent that has barricaded them into the alleyway. "Who's there?" Gigi-chan whispers, and only the wind answers. A second of silence. Sweat trickles down Gigi-chan's neck. RBR-kun screams. He pivots backwards with his right hand clamped to his left shoulder, a sudden 6-inch tear bursting at the seam of his Gucci suit. A knife. An attack. Unseen. Unheard. Invisible. Somewhere. Where? Realization flashes down MG-chan's back like ice water. She takes one step forward, then another, and breaks into a run, eyes set to RBR-kun. She lifts her hand to her head and tears away her wig, netting and all, and releases it, hair strands trailing through her fingers, so that a bob of short, black, unassuming hair sweeps her shoulders. "Hey, stop! That's dangerous! Your wig!" MC-kun yells at her, but he's a distant thought now, because MG-chan can see now. She can see. Eye to eye now with a brown-haired, dark-eyed girl in the alleyway. This new girl is dressed in an unassuming lilac seifuku. She's an utterly normal, utterly unnoticeable girl who'd followed them into the alleyway, who'd blend in easily into a backdrop of millions, invisible to a cast of candy-haired protagonists. This girl wields a glinting butcher's knife in her hands. She considers MG-chan for only a moment as their eyes lock, but the girl with the knife has changed targets. With near supernatural speed, she swept up behind MC-kun, yielding the knife inches from the nape of MC-kun's neck. She's close enough that her breath must be hot on MC-kun's skin, and yet he can't see her. Not the way MG-chan can. "Get back!" MG-chan screams, and MC-kun has only a fearful few seconds to consider her before MG-chan shoves him out of the way. Full body, she knocks the murderer off course and pins her down, so that the knife only managed to nick the knot in MC-kun's bandana. His bandana frays and splits and unravels from his forehead. It flutters down to the soggy pavement below, and with it trail a few shorn strands of bubblegum pink hair. MC-kun is snapped from the spell, and he can see her too. The background girl in the lilac seifuku is pinned. MG-chan claws at her wrists to free the hilt of the butcher knife. The murderer knees MG-chan and shoves her off, and flips her knife to the ready in a single, delicate, calculated action. RBR-kun grabs a fistful of dollar bills from his Gucci suit. He hoists them high in the air and strikes a pose of such narcissistic self-importance that it looks as though he were summoning God himself. RBR-kun lets out an overwhelming wolf whistle, a summons, loud enough to echo through the alleyway. And immediately, a helicopter descends. The gale force of its blades beat out a deafening rhythm, the churned up dust and debris near blinding. A dark figure inside the copter lets down a rope ladder, which RBR-kun quickly straddles like a knight mounting his horse. "Come!" And he extends a hand to his friends below. MC-kun doesn't come. Not immediately. The murderer girl's been blinded by the gale force winds, and he seizes the opportunity to yank MG-chan from the pavement and drag her to the rope ladder himself. Gigi-chan has made it up the rope ladder. MG-chan grabs hold and climbs. MC-kun is on her heels, his neck prickling hot for the few seconds it takes to climb, knowing the murderer is mere inches behind him. The copter breaks away from the ground, careening upward. MC-kun holds on for dear life and dares to look backwards. His eyes lock with the murderer. She remains on the pavement below, hair whipping her face, but eyes burning, unblinking, into his. There's a pressure in them that freezes MC-kun in place. But the murderer does not move, and the helicopter makes its getaway. MG-chan and Gigi-chan haul the rope up until MC-kun is close enough to shift his grip to MG-chan's arm and levy his weight against her so that she hoists him up. He collapses on the floor of the copter, knees weak beneath him. There's a man in the dark suit also in the hub of the copter. the one who threw out the ladder for them to climb. He's in the corner hustling RBR-kun for money, who's crying only a little bit while handing over the last of his crumpled dollar bills that were crammed inside his Gucci suit. MG-chan shuts the copter door tight behind them. "Are you guys okay?" Gigi-chan asks. Her laptop is gripped tight to her chest, hair severely wind-blown by the chopper. Her eyes look so different without the oversized glasses. "I'm okay," MC-kun replies, just a bit winded. His hand moves absently up to the nape of his neck, to the hairline there, to where his bandana was cut away from him. There's the faintest smudge of blood that comes away with his fingertips. "What even happened down there just now?" RBR-kun asks. He's back from being hustled for money. His eyes shift briefly to his torn suit. "I didn't see anything. Just something sliced my suit. Then you jumped. Oh man, you lost your wig. Oh, that's not good. Don't worry, I've got other wigs," MG-chan says. She leans back, away from MC-kun, her face pensive. "What happened is, I figured out how she could slip through the crowds completely unnoticed. She just had to become someone unnoticeable to us." "She was normal looking, wasn't she?" Gigi-chan asks. "As plain as they come," MG-chan answers. "She twisted this whole thing against us. We put on these ridiculous outfits, and we became exactly like all the other naturally ridiculous-looking kids here. On this plane of importance too high to even notice someone who's naturally normal. She didn't need powers, and she didn't even need a disguise. She just needed to be normal." MG-chan presses a hand to her bob-cut hair. "She's one of us." "You're not quite right," MC-kun says quietly, still a bit dazed, still processing. About that last part, at least. "I don't think she's one of us at all." "What do you mean?" MC-kun points to his own hairline. "I saw it, staring at her, while we got away, with the helicopter wind tearing everything up." He taps now, twice. "Beneath the brown hair, down at the roots, right at the hairline, she was pink. Her natural hair underneath. It was absolutely pink." The best the copter can do is set them down on the hotel roof. It's disorienting, and absolutely a bit surreal to be plopped down on the roof of some 30-story grand hotel by a copter summoned from thin air, left to bang on the maintenance door until a very, very confused janitor lets them back inside. Though, hanging out on the roof of a building with the wind dramatically sweeping their hair just felt right. All four of them could agree. It's MG-chan's room where they settle, where MG-chan pulls a spare wig and hairnet from her costume box to reaffix to her head, and a spare set of oversized glasses to offer back to Gigi-chan, and a set of needle and thread to sew RBR-kun's suit. MG-chan doesn't have any spare bandanas to offer MC-kun, but he waves it off, muttering that he has a few in his own room to grab later. MG-chan has her legs swung over the edge of her hotel bed, her fingers making quick work of the hole in RBR-kun's suit jacket. She hardly looks as she weaves the thread through the knife incision. RBR-kun sits awkwardly in the nearest armchair in his Gucci pants and a sweaty undershirt. "Is she even targeting us specifically?" MG-chan asks aloud, fingers closing another loop of thread. "Those people who got taken out in the cafeteria, I know most of them were natural candy hairs." "Maybe it's a buckshot approach," MC-kun answers. His back is against the door, braced intentionally as though he expects a force to come breaking it down any moment. If she wipes out everyone, then she wipes out us in the process, and gets to win this competition too, probably. "That's dumb if she already knows who you are," MG-chan answers. "She has your old photo and your room number. You specifically should be so easy to target, and me too, now that she's seen my natural hair. She could just replace your shampoo, or my shampoo with Nair, and be done with it." Oh shit, she could totally do that. But she hasn't. So why is she going to all the trouble of wiping out everyone across the board? "I don't know why, but what you said is only half the picture," Gigi-chan answers, hunched over her keyboard. "She did see us, but also we saw her, so we can focus on figuring out her identity." Her glasses flash. "I'm not getting anywhere with jQuery, but if the competition's registration page doesn't sanitize its inputs, I can try to launch an SQL injection attack to set my own admin credentials, then SSH into the contestant database and scrape it for all the contestant information." "Cool. What's that mean?" MC-kun asks. "You know I don't know what that means," Gigi-chan replies as she launches a successful SQL injection attack and scrapes the contestant registry. She turns her screen around, revealing a filtered set of pink-haired contestants. Here, of the 1,046 kids who were registered, 147 are girls with pink hair, and only 107 of them are still in the competition. MC-kun looks the faces over, and he looks them over a second time, the minutes passing in silent scrutiny. Slowly, he shakes his head, brow knitted in frustration. I don't recognize her there, and even if she does have pink hair, she's already disguised herself once as far as we know. She could be operating under any other disguise she wants. I've got it! RBR-kun announces, bouncing to his feet. The poofy hotel armchair pillows bounce up with him, riding the trail of sparkles that follow his movement. He sticks his index finger upward triumphantly. I've figured it out! Gigi-chan briefly stops typing. You figured out who she is? No, I figured out what we need to do. It's simplistic, actually, and quite elegant. I'm amazed I hadn't considered this earlier. Okay, and? Gigi-chan prompts. Tomorrow, during the competition, let's all, and RBR-kun strikes a pose, lose! I'm sorry? MC-kun, MG-chan, and Gigi-chan all echo. Let's just lose tomorrow! RBR-kun's expression is smug, self-satisfied. He angles his thumb and index finger out, using them to frame his chin. We lose. We go home with our toupees intact. No murderous girl on our heels. No harm done. Voila! Problem solved. There's a pause. Toupee? MC-kun asks. Is that a toupee? Gigi-chan now. The toupee is not the point, RBR-kun answers, and suddenly his hair seems a bit lopsided. The point is we throw in the towel and be done with this. Neither of those are the point, MG-chan answers. She leans over and thwacks RBR-kun lightly on the back of the head. He jolts forward, hair straighter. We're not going to just throw the competition. We want to compete, and we want to win, like all the other candy-haired kids here. Deciding to give up and just go home is the same as letting the murderer win. I'd rather lose to her myself. It's not the same. It's a tactical choice, you know? Like strategy. We're outsmarting our opponent by intentionally losing. What sort of rival are you? MG-chan asks. Your whole persona thing is supposed to be about defeating him. MG-chan points a finger at MC-kun. What sort of sworn rival just decides to quit? The kind of sworn rival trying to not get audited on his taxes, RBR-kun responds. Taxes? MC-kun asks. Are you committing tax fraud? Gigi-chan follows. Besides the point, RBR-kun says. Never mind, stop besiding the point. We need to focus. MG-chan stands tall over RBR-kun and shoves his jacket back into his lap. The point of this group is that none of us are going home. That's why you begged to join us, isn't it? And I mean, if you want to leave, then leave. But we want to stay in the competition. We want to win. As big and as grand as any of those candy-haired competitors who crushed us all when we were just part of the background. We want to win! MC-kun raises his hand, speaking up for the first time in a while. Yeah, about that? He looks up, and his face is deeply bothered. What is this competition? Silence meets him. MG-chan opens her mouth as if to answer, then shrinks back, face waxing with confusion. Gigi-chan's eyes shoot wide, and she begins to type. Wait, MG-chan answers, finally. Right? MC-kun pushes off from the door, eyes set to the far window, to its towering view of some grandiose international city that he cannot name. I can't remember what we're competing in. Was it ever even set? It was. At one point, I'm certain, Gigi-chan mutters, thumbnail pressed against her teeth. Her other hand keeps typing. I'm trying to retrieve the version history of the itinerary on the website, but it's corrupted. She looks up. Someone, some things, changed it. Oh, spooky, RBR-kun adds. He pats his Gucci jacket. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Dare I say? Not at all. MG-chan deflates somewhat, lowering herself into the plush carpet with her hands set to the sides of her wig. She removes it, staring at it as her short bob hair falls across her face. That's unsettling. I don't like these blind spots. Do you think she has something to do with this too? The murderer? I have the scary feeling she knows way more about how this world works than we do. Maybe? Gigi-chan answers. Probably. Almost definitely, RBR-kun says. I think that doesn't matter, actually, MC-kun asserts. He He rises taller now, a sort of mania in his eyes. You're right. What you said about this competition, about winning. I've been so just freaked out and scared and worried about being found out, being sabotaged and sent home. I let that blind me. I let her scare me into submission. Not anymore. This is the last time she gets to hold me back. MC-kun glides his fingers through his hair, spiking it upward. He fishes in his pocket and emerges with a spare bandana, fiery as his eyes, and ties it back around his forehead. We don't need to outsmart her, or figure out her motive, or unmask her, or any of that. We only need to win. We'll send her home, whoever she is, fair and square. Because if we watch each other's backs, and we keep winning, then we'll knock her out by default. It's that simple. It's taking first place. That undisputable, irrefutable first place that will knock her out for good. And you know what? I feel like being the one to do it. As payback. As a statement. As victory. I feel like winning. He angles himself towards Gigi-chan. What's the competition tomorrow? Gigi-chan turns her screen around, glinting glasses obscuring her eyes. A crest of knives dominates the page. Cooking! And MC-kun nods. The fire in his veins keens like the flames of a stove. Perfect. Gigi-chan lowers the computer. Not perfect. In fact, very not perfect. She lifts her head. Glasses glint, vanishing to reveal eyes full of despair. Quite, yes. Dare I say, terrible, RBR-kun answers. That's not how you pronounce terrible in French, MG-chan says. It's not. I don't know how to speak French. I also do not know how to cook. At all. A young man of my caliber expects all meals to be catered by personal waitstaff, no less. When we met, you were eating a handmade PB&J sandwich, MC-kun says. Yes, and it was atrocious. Everything was sticky, and I hated it. I also don't stand much of a chance here. Gigi-chan raises her hand, speaking sheepishly. She lays her laptop on the ground. I hope you guys can make it through this round. I'll be rooting for you. Come on, nonsense. There's gotta be something you can make, MC-kun says, feeling the fire in his heart quickly dampening, like someone were kicking sand onto it. Some specialty, yeah? Well, Gigi-chan starts. There's a special ramen I make sometimes. Good, good. Let's work with that. What's in it? Instant ramen. And also there's... Gigi-chan curls her fingers and flicks her wrist. A cracked egg in it, for protein. Silence meets her. Gigi-chan flushes, embarrassed. I live off snacks and instant ramen, okay? It's the only way I have so much time to code. I don't know how to turn an oven on. Look, okay, we'll salvage this, yeah? MC-kun insists. Both of you just need to learn one nice recipe before tomorrow. We have the internet. We've got time. That's not good enough. MG-chan now. She's risen, making her way to the closet in the back of her room. And you cannot treat this like a normal contest. We're playing by different rules. She flicks the light on, dingy fluorescence dousing a stockpile of giant container bins. MG-chan lifts the top one with ease, turns and sets it down on the rug. She flicks the latches open, pops off the lid. The bin is filled to the brim with costume props. MG-chan pulls out a pair of horn-rimmed glasses and tosses them to Gigi-chan. Start with these. We have work to do. Gigi-chan isn't quite sure what it is that completes the outfit. Possibly the horn-rimmed glasses with the rhinestone frame, or the streak of white that MG-chan dyed into her hair. A compromise. MG-chan wanted an undercut. Or maybe the smart lab coat with the trim waist, or the dress pants with the matching black heels. Gigi-chan thinks it's probably the fake nose piercing that ties it all together. The final rebellious element that takes cocky scientist to this person cooks with nitroglycerin. Because that's what Gigi-chan suddenly becomes. A scientist specializing in cuisine, a chemist cracking bioluminescence into brownies, and flash-freezing ice cream in liquid nitrogen for a tantalizing dessert platter of whimsical experimentation. Gigi-chan had insisted it wouldn't work, that she was a coder, not a chemist. MG-chan had countered that she wasn't even a coder. She was an art student in a costume, and now she would be an art student in a different costume. And it works. RBR-kun has become a whimsical figure himself, smart from head to toe, his Gucci jacket replaced with an intricate white button-up, vibrant red trim at the lapel, a matching kerchief in the breast pocket. His apron, cinched at the waist, is laced with gold. It covers only his bottom half, leaving his frame above sharp and imposing. His teeth are whiter, his hair parted with a sleek sweep to the side. Suddenly, he can speak French. He is a chef of the highest caliber, a perfectionist who personally sources only the rarest, ripest, visually immaculate ingredients to cook with. He treats caviar like a seasoning, and gold leaf plating like an absolute. Any perceptible flaw in his cooking technique is masked by the perfection of his ingredients. And MG-chan only overdrafted 2 more of his credit cards to put the outfit together. MG-chan's transformation is fairly simple. She chooses a wig of shorter blue hair and plaits it into 2 tight side braids that run down behind her shoulders. She sews an outfit of head-to-toe chef's garb, white on white, with simple functional shoes, a matriarch of the kitchen, with the confidence to never crack under pressure. It comes as something of a shock to all 3 of them when MC-kun needs no transformation. He insists on cooking while the other 3 dress up, and steals away to the hotel kitchen unnoticed, and surfaces with a 4-course meal that obliterates all expectation. Something about his outfit already works. No one is sure what. The League of Background Characters sweep the cooking round, an indisputable victory under each of their belts. Of the few murders that happen in the night, none happen close to their rooms, which have all been dead-bolted, reinforced, and, in MG-chan's case, welded shut. This is due to MG-chan owning both a welder and a welder's outfit, and the confidence that she can unweld it in the morning. The next night, everyone opts to sleep in MG-chan's room, for the extra welding protection. The next round presents itself as a chess tournament. Gigi-chan opts to change nothing about her normal appearance. She writes a perfect computer algorithm to beat any human opponent in chess, and she memorizes it. Even without the mental computational speed of a computer, she's fast enough to calculate most relevant paths in her head and act on them. She blows her opponent out of the water. RBR-kun needs only tweaks. His rich boy look is modified to a prep school look, with expensive, thick-framed glasses to pass as the captain of an elite chess club. He takes a lot of joy in the dramatic effect of his glinting glasses, and is kind of disappointed to give them back to MG-chan when he curb stomps his opponent in the match. They all sweep their competition. Once again, MC-kun needs no transformation. His pink spiky hair and bandana suffices, even if it says nothing at all about chess. Horseback archery is next, then sumo wrestling, then antique pottery making, juggling, ping pong, freestyle swimming. The costumes in MG-chan's room pile up, a horrifically ugly clashing mesh of shirts, pants, headbands, accessories, jewelry, hats, and a few sets of cowboy boots. The murders continue, but at a distance, to people that the 4 of them have rarely interacted with, and seemingly with less frequency. They speculate about this a little. If it means Villain-chan is losing steam, or losing interest, or focusing more on the competition as it comes down to the wire. But they can't waste much time on theories. They have only 24 hours to put together ice skating leotards. Something strange happens after the ice skating round. The contestants have been whittled down to the 4 final. This final 4. The League of Background Characters. 4-way high fives circulate when RBR-kun's 8th successful back-to-back quad cinches him the round. The commentators take note that, for a set of rivals entering the semi-finals, the 4 of them sure do seem friendly. And the 4 of them note with a bit of melancholy that they may have to part ways for the final 2 rounds. It can't be a collaborative effort anymore if they're going face to face, but at least one of them will win in absolute, and it won't be Villain-chan. They let their guard down, until a scream wakes them in the middle of the night. One of the defeated girls, with the pure white hair, has been shaved in her room. Her bags are already packed, her loss is official, and she is murdered anyway. The 4 of them reconvene in a maintenance tunnel under the hotel for added security, as the rooms just don't feel safe anymore. They're lit only by the emergency lighting along the walls, and Gigi-chan's laptop whispering back and forth. Why is the murderer still active when she can't possibly be part of the competition anymore? Why murder a contestant who's already lost? Is causing her victims to lose not her end goal? Is losing not the end of it? Would she follow them elsewhere? Would she follow them home? Is this something beyond the competition? Suddenly, their conviction that unmasking Villain-chan isn't important is wavering. If it's not about just surviving the competition, then it's about surviving her, and the possibilities of what she's after become much more unclear and much more scary. I don't like this, MG-chan mutters. We should have weeded her out. Instead, we might have made ourselves the last target standing. Did we make it easier for her? We could always still just, RBR-kun strikes his index finger out with only half conviction. Lose? Sure, if you want to throw your match against me, I'll take it. MC-kun reaches a hand out and lowers RBR-kun's finger. Seriously though, we're not doing that. We don't even have any evidence that'll help. Gigi-chan is typing in silence, a pale and almost ghastly figure against the laptop light. I tried this already, scraping the outgoing and incoming messages, emails, texts, Google searches coming from the hotel for anything suspicious. It always came up empty, but I'm broadening my filters. It might take a while to sort through, but anything suspicious, anything concerning that my AI grabs, it's worth looking into. We're blind here otherwise. Her screen stutters and flashes, and the results pour in as plain text in the command prompt. The rest of them lean in, crowding the screen, eyes skimming. A Google search for best blue hair dye fast delivery. An email titled, I'm sorry, I lost grandma's special coat. A text message, I lost today, Mom. I hope you're still proud of me. None of that is useful, RBR-kun mutters. He sets his hand to the trackpad and scrolls further. All of these are just about the murders and defeats, not the why and not the who. Wait, scroll back up. MC-kun cuts in. He pulls the laptop over. I saw something weird. There, he points. FW, Uncle Ryo still trapped in Shadow Realm. What does that even mean? MC-kun asks. There are weirder ones, MG-chan points out. Incoming text. Your little sister was spirited away. We're looking for her. Love you lots. Google. How to take over as Mafia Don in murdered brother's place? Yahoo answers. Is 15 too young to avenge my entire family? Avenge? MC-kun asks. There's too many of these to be coincidence. What do they mean? MG-chan now. Terrible, isn't it all? It's a female voice that speaks, and it's none of theirs. All four of them spin in place, hairs along their necks standing on end, and in a split second, Gigi-chan's glasses are shattered. She shrieks as the glass explodes around her. RBR-kun reaches a hand out, her name in his throat, before he's silenced by a wave of bleach sloshed across his front. He lights to his feet, aghast, dizzy from the fumes eating into his suit. My Gucci suit! Shit, she's here, MG-chan says, and it's all she has time to say before a quick swipe of twin blades shears both her twirling pigtails off. It shears down to the netting, taking a chunk of natural black hair with it. MC-kun has only a second to react, and he does. He leaps back arched so that the incoming blade nicks only the tip of his hair. He completes the back flip, springing on his hands and landing square on his feet, eye to eye with Villain-chan. I didn't know I could do that, MC-kun whispers, somewhat amazed, and it's all he has time to do before Villain-chan launches another attack. MC-kun parries this one with a blade that's appeared from nowhere, but he doesn't think about it too hard. He shoves her back, twisting her blade off-center so that it strains her grip, and he lunges. One of her twin swords goes clattering to the ground, and with the same motion, he catches the netting under her wig, sweeping it off with masterful precision. It falls unceremoniously to the floor. MC-kun points his sword at Villain-chan's neck before she can retrieve it. She's entirely shed off her disguise now. It's the same burning eyes staring back at him, but with colored contacts removed. There are blue pools of pristine aqua, and her bubblegum pink hair flows past her shoulders, luminous even in the dark tunnel. She kicks vertically, connecting with MC-kun's wrist, and knocking the blade from his hand. She sweeps in fast, a spin kick knocking MC-kun off balance as he struggles to find his footing. It's Taekwondo, and a masterful display at that, throwing MC-kun into a panic until he finds his balance, and blocks, counters. His hands suddenly know what to do, how to imitate her style. He's on par with her. She flicks a row of throwing stars out of her sleeve, and the battle shifts again. MC-kun digs his own kunai out of his sleeve, and the face-off starts again. Stars crash against the black concrete wall and echo, the scraping sound of steel on steel following as MC-kun blocks. They're fighting bare-handed, and they're on horseback with javelins. And then without warning, they're crouched on the floor beside each other playing a children's card game. The fight becomes a race, an actual foot race, until both Villain-chan and MC-kun are aggressively cooking at separate cooking stations that have manifested underground, with RBR-kun, MG-chan, and Gigi-chan awaiting happily to be the judges. What's happening? MC-kun tries to mouth to one of his friends, but the fight is too fast-paced. They're boxing now, him and Villain-chan, and he can't speak well through his mouth guard. Villain-chan attacks with a wave of fire that MC-kun counters with a wall of ice, which still surprises him even after the long montage of uncanny battles. He hadn't known he had ice powers. He's still not sure how that works. The wall melts under her barrage, and Villain-chan races across the puddles with a long sword in her hand. MC-kun has one too, and he steadies himself, looking for an opening. Villain-chan's life has never known peace. She was born with pink hair. The doctors told her family that she was a main character, and ever since then, her life has been in ruins. Her father has been kidnapped by a horde of otherworldly demons. Her brother is being held captive in an isekai. Her uncle is an evil crime lord. Her mother died many years before she was born. This has been Villain-chan's everyday for far too long. When one threat is defeated, another one eventually rises. As certainly as the return of the sun, the return of the tides, and any happiness she's found has been transient, stunted by the knowledge that eventually something else would challenge her and take it away. Something new declaring her the chosen one, something new seeking her out as the only hope to end a war, or save a people, or solve an ancient mystery. Sometimes that something is milder, a contest, a sport to take interest in, a harem of boys who follow her every which way, until their time in the spotlight is up, and they are filtered out of her life, to be replaced by whatever new threat has sought her out. Villain-chan has tried to fight it. She's tried everything possible to free herself of this curse, and one time, she found something that almost worked. One time, almost a year ago, she went to the department store and bought the darkest hair dye she could find, the simplest muted contacts they had to offer. It was a color set like all her classmates who she envied so much. The ones who she almost couldn't see, who lived a world away from her, who she felt buzzing in her periphery, going on dates and to club activities and to cafes after class. She saw them living life and saw only a monster in the mirror, and she wanted out. The next day when she went to school with her hair and eyes brown, it was as though all the normal-looking classmates could see her for the first time, and she could see them. It was a crossing of worlds that made Villain-chan's hands tremble. A life she'd only ever imagined for herself. She tried hard. She tried as hard as she possibly could, learning names and faces and interests, and hobbies and quirks and customs of those background classmates, learning what it felt like to call others friends. But always, her roots grew in too quickly. Their names and faces become fuzzy. Supernatural forces would drag her outside their world for weeks on end, and then she would return. Everyone had become strangers again. Some of them were no longer the same people. A different color swap of a different background character, replacing the spots where she once knew people, distant and ill-defined, and other. This world, however it worked, would not let her mesh with them. They were oil and water. Villain-chan had to give up on that future she saw with her classmates, with friends. She had to be alone. At least, she thought. But it was one normal background boy who pieced it together, who figured out why she distanced herself and shut herself away. He showed up at her locker one day, with his hair dyed pure white and a gentle smile on his face, and Villain-chan cried. He followed her everywhere, White Hair-kun, even if it meant crossing dimensional rifts and delving to the center of the earth. He worked hard beneath her to learn what she could teach him, learning what the white hair meant for him. He gave it his all, and learned all her tricks, some supernatural, and some just human, and did it every day with a smile on his face. His was the smile to greet her every morning at school. His was the hand she squeezed whenever she got the next round of bad news about some family member's kidnapping. His was the face she pictured when all else failed to give her hope. His was the voice that assured her she was good and kind and worth fighting for whenever an enemy launched into monologue insisting Villain-chan was just like him, as evil enemies tend to do. WH-kun fought demons with her, banished ghouls with her, liberated cities with her, and still waited for her in the rain on school mornings, and still saved a seat for her every lunch period, and still sat by gentle lamplight with her to finish homework in the wee early hours of the morning. He was as tired as she was of this dual life, of the isolation it wrought, but he insisted he was happy, always that he was happy, just to be doing this with her. For the first time, Villain-chan was happy too. That was her mistake, she supposes. Succumbing to that happiness, letting her guard down, believing W.H. Kun was stronger than he was, when he lacked the years and years of training she'd had. It came to a head in the fairy realm, fighting an army of tricksters, sly, malicious, low blow-dealing menaces who Villain-chan had fought a number of times before. W.H. Kun had not. He was out of his element. They had cast an illusion of Villain-chan leaving her back open, about to be hit, and W.H. Kun fell for the bait. He leapt into action to protect her. He took the blow full body, and when Villain-chan turned around, he was on the ground. W.H. Kun would not get up, no matter how much she screamed for him. The doctors said to be patient with him. The head trauma had caused significant memory loss. They were not hopeful that he would get much of it back, but he still knew who he was, they said, just not very much beyond that. The first day that Villain-chan went in to visit him, in his hospital room, he smiled at her, but it was not the same smile. It was surface deep, a formality. "I'm sorry, but who are you?" he asked, and it was as pleasant as could be, and it broke Villain-chan's heart. Of course he wouldn't remember. It was the sort of game tricksters loved to play the most, delivering a punishment that would suit her best, taking from her what she most valued. This was never about W.H. Kun. It should never have been about him. He was innocent. He wasn't a part of her world, and he suffered for it. "A classmate," Villain-chan answered, with the same surface-deep smile, and she never visited his hospital room again. She would leave him be, to recover on his own, back into the world where he belonged. She would rather let him live than have him die by her side. His recovery was slow. It spanned months. W.H. Kun's hair grew out, revealing darker roots, longer and longer until his mother came in with scissors to snip away the white ends. Spring turned to summer, and summer to fall. W.H. Kun slowly regained his strength. His memory of his family returned in pieces. He passed the boredom of the hospital room by mastering new skills he found. He took an interest in sports as his body healed. He adopted an interest in archery, and one in cooking, and another in model train making. His model trains were good, his doctor told him, turning the little toy choo-choo this way and that in the white linen hospital room, gentle fall breeze drifting through the window. Good enough even to be entered in a model train competition, so the doctor said. Not again. Never again. MC Kun cracks his eyes open, ears ringing, head throbbing from the crack against the concrete below. His eyes are swimming with tears, and he blinks them away, bringing Villain-chan back into focus. She stands just above him, leaning over him, knife at the ready, her other hand gripped around his pink hair. He's done for. She's got him. He understands that in an instant, as he's too dizzy to even stand. But there's something else about this all that sends a wave of shock rippling down his spine. A twisting familiarity to be staring into her eyes. "I know you," he says, before he's even processed the words. Villain-chan should have shorn him right there. She doesn't. She freezes instead. "No you don't. I know you," MC Kun insists again. The memory swimming behind his eyes is hazy. "You're a classmate. You came to the hospital," he continues, and he shuts his eyes again as the throbbing pain increases. He expects Villain-chan to slice his hair right then and be done with it. There's nothing more to buy him any time. She doesn't. He feels nothing except the pounding in his head. In that instant, it floods back and douses him like ice water, and his eyes snap open. He's looking directly into hers. "Not a classmate. It's you. It's you." Villain-chan is pinned to the spot. Her eyes are wide, mouth parted just slightly. "Stop. Kyoko. Stop. Of course I know you. You're Kyoko. How did I forget that?" Her grip loosens on MC Kun's hair. She leans back, tears brim in her eyes. Against her will, against her better judgment, she should move, she should act, but she can't. She shakes her head. "Please stop. Please don't remember." "I need to know." MC Kun shuts his eyes hard, opening them again. His body hurts. The realization is disorienting. A whole chapter of life is flooding before his eyes. "Kyoko, do you remember me?" Her tears fall. The knife drops. "Of course." She drops now, on her knees, beside MC Kun. "Takashi." MC Kun, Takashi, sits up. He braces a hand to the back of his head, and then pulls one knee up to his chest. He wraps his arms around it, and slumps forward. Why are you doing this, Kyoko? And why? All that time in the hospital, you only ever came to see me once. Why? The answer to both those questions is the same, Villain-chan, Kyoko admits. She slumped forward too, avoiding eye contact, toying with the rim of the knife she dropped, to put you back to normal, and send you back to normal, so you don't ever have to deal with this bullshit ever again. No one was forcing me. No one is forcing us. We don't want to be sent back, and I wanted to stay with you. So why? You died staying with me, you dumbass. And didn't you see the emails? The Shadow Realm, and the murdered brother, and the Mafia? That's like a 1-month itinerary for me. That's the fate you're tempting the longer you dress up like, you four don't belong here. You belong in the real world, living real lives, growing up like normal people. Kyoko threads her fingers through her hair, pulling at the roots, pink all the way through. You don't understand how valuable that is. Kyoko straightens up some. Her face is set, like a parent mid-lecture. You, Mariko. She points a finger to Gigi-chan. You can still finish art school if you just go back now. They haven't expelled you yet. You've got government agencies hounding you for your hacking skills, yeah? What sort of life is that? How soon until one of your family members go missing because, I don't know, Russia wants you to hack the moon? Suck it up. Accept your C in sculpting and go home. Kyoko's attention shifts. Ryosuke, RBR-kun flinches. Kyoko continues. Call your grandmother, for Pete's sake. She's tired of having to root through an agent of your agent in order to get in contact with you. Also, you can't afford all those agents. You're gonna hit the wall eventually. Get out, now, before you're struggling to get out of debtor's prison. And Sakura, MG-chan doesn't flinch. She knew she was next. Just go home. Stop enabling this. You don't have many ties to your family or home life in general. I get that. But it's better than having everything you love taken hostage by giants. Go home, and don't use your skills to unleash this evil on anyone else. Kyoko curls in on herself. Her voice drops. All of you, go home. Takashi especially. And forget about this. And cut your losses here, before your life gets stuck like this, and your friends and family suffer. Her eyes snap to Takashi. And if you don't agree, I'll see to it myself. So wait, you're still gonna shear us like sheep? After all that? RBR-kun, Ryosuke, asks. He points hastily to his entire bleached suit. After what you did to my Gucci suit? Why didn't you tell us this from the beginning? Why run around like some ninja murderer, huh? Gigi-chan, Mariko, asks. She's placed the shattered frames back on her face, but the illusion is lost. Kyoko lets out a quiet laugh. For starters, you're all stubborn, and most people wouldn't believe me if I tried to tell them dyeing their hair pink will lead to ruin. And there are too many of you. It's better to hit as many as I can, to scare the fakes into believing they've been found out, to attack them and let them feel what it's like to be in danger, to be targeted, and have them reach the conclusion themselves that they just want things to be normal again. And as for the natural main characters who got swept up in this, I can't save them, but I've at least bought them a small reprieve, just a little bit of peace until their roots grow back, and the cycle starts all over for them. Her gaze drops to her hands. It was really the best plan I could come up with. I got pulled into this competition naturally. I was going to just let it run its course, and then I saw Takashi. The very first day. Couldn't believe it. Prayed I was wrong. I looked him dead in the eyes, and it was him, and he didn't recognize me. He was just back, pink hair now, thrown back into this world. I had to act, but I was scared to face him. You, Takashi. She looks at him now. That photo I slipped under your door. It's one I took of you. We were hanging out at the park. I've been hanging on to it as the last piece I had of you. Takashi stands. His face is in shadow, eyes obscured beneath a shock of pink hair. His hands are curled tight. I'm disappointed in you, Kyoko, he mutters, and his voice is like ice. What happened to you these last 6 months? When did you just give up? Silence meets him. He reaches down, pulls Kyoko standing, and grips her by the shoulders. She can see his eyes now, and they are filled with fire. This isn't the Kyoko I know talking. The one I know gave her all to save everyone she could. The Kyoko I knew was alive, and she was passionate, and she was ready to intervene when needed. Not this cynicism, not this bleakness. My optimism just about got you killed. What part of that are you missing here? Of course I've changed. I'm the Kyoko now who doesn't let innocent background kids get themselves killed. I failed you once by letting you get taken down, and I failed you again by letting you remember. I'm trying to become the Kyoko who doesn't fall for those failures. There's something I don't like about what you said. You said to cut this out before we let our friends or family suffer. Well, look at yourself. Takashi shakes her by the shoulders. His whole face moves out of shadow, pained beyond reason. Because you're my friend. You were my best friend. And I'm watching you suffer all alone right now. Don't you get it? He releases her shoulders and takes a step back and angles his hand with his thumb pointing to his own chest. You don't have to do this all alone. And the fact that I left you like that, I failed you, Kyoko. His shoulders fall a little. His words slip quieter. I failed you. And I'm so sorry about that. Stop. Stop doing this thing you do, Kyoko whispers. She stares at her own palms. Stop making me think it's okay to let down my guard. Stop making me dream about being not alone again. It's cruel of you. Offering things that will only hurt us both in the end. That's so cruel. Well then, allow me to be cruel too, as payback for the mean things you said earlier. MG-chan, Sakura, has closed the gap between them. She stands, hips squared, appraising Kyoko. I also take issue with the stuff you said, especially the thing about being hunted making us normal kids back down. Ryosuke, sure, but not me. That's when I rise up. I've been hunting for an explanation of how this world works, and now you've handed it over. And I want to know, what exactly do you expect to happen to those candy hairs who you sent home bleached and shorn and ruined? The ones whose uncles are in the Shadow Realm and whose brothers were mob bosses? Are they lost cases? Not your problem? Beyond any salvation? She prods Kyoko's shoulder. Have you given up on them? I'm guessing. Because you've given up on yourself? Kyoko takes a step back. The challenge bothers her. Because there's never any stopping it. There's never any end to it. There's no use trying to help them when it'll be something new the next day. Then why did you let me tag along for so long? Takashi asks. I never thought it was a wasted effort. Did you? No, Kyoko breathes. No, never. Not once. But that was my fault for letting you. My fault for being so lonely that I relied too heavily on you. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. It got you hurt. It cost you your memory. Well, what if, Sakura continues, there had been a third person with you? What if it hadn't been just you and Takashi? What if there had been someone else to watch your back? They would have been in danger too. Less danger than you and Takashi alone. And if you all had each other's back, maybe Takashi would have gotten out of that fight unharmed. Stop it. Stop. You don't know what you're talking about. Sakura scoffs. And you think you know what you're talking about when you're just, what, trashing my decisions? Choosing my fate for me? Thing is, I don't want to go home back to my normal life. I like who I am and what I'm doing. I like supporting my friends. And while I wouldn't say I'm your friend, I am Takashi's friend. And he and I are in this together. She sticks a hand out, fist curled in the center of the three of them. And I'm not going home. Takashi joins her hand, nigh instantly, and Mariko's hand sneaks in from behind. I like what Sakura said. I don't want to go back to sculpting, and I also don't want to hack for governments either. I'd rather use this gift to help my friends. I'd rather save someone who needs my saving, however I can do that. A pause follows, and with a big, exaggerated huff, Ryosuke joins them, his Gucci suit reeking of bleach. I've had a lot more fun with these plebeians than I've had in a long time. I wasn't anyone special before I put on the Gucci suit, and I wasn't anyone special afterward either. But it was nicer to share that with people, with friends. I hadn't had that before. His eyes shift left and right. And I still owe Sakura about $200 for my outfits because I've run out of usable credit cards, so I can't flake out until that debt is repaid. I'd be more worried about the hundreds of thousands in loan shark debt, Mariko adds. Shh, shut it. I'm trying to have a moment here, okay? Ryosuke answers. One time, me and Kyoko had to retrieve this Fabergé dragon egg that was worth like several small countries, Takashi says. Next time something like that comes up, I'll invite you along. Ooh, charming. The fifth person in the circle slips down, onto her knees. Kyoko is on the floor now, staring vacantly at it, seemingly disconnected, until her eyes fill with tears, and she curls over, face in her hands. Why? Why go this far when you're able to go home and be normal? Why subject yourself to my curse all over? Because we're friends, Takashi answers simply. He reaches down and pulls her up. And I've let you down as a friend before, and I refuse to ever do that again. And I don't know if it's part of this weird world we've all stepped into, but somehow friendship feels like the best possible motivation I could think of right now. He raises his free hand, finger pointing upward. Plus, it doesn't have to be just us. It can be all the candy-haired kids we met here. No one needs to be facing this curse alone. Maybe it's extra work for us all, sure. But if we can ease everyone's burden, and work together, and find friendship with each other, maybe that's a new normal that's worth protecting. Kyoko's hand is trembling. She shuts her eyes, and bows her head, and sticks her hand into the circle, joining the other 4. Takashi grabs her hand inside the circle, and he squeezes it tight. Thank you. Kyoko's life has never known peace. It's filled with dragons, and demons, and spirits, and fairies, chosen prophecies, and seeing oracles, and medieval quests, and otherworldly adventures, magic and sports and martial arts and cooking. Only some of those things are tied into her life directly. The rest are the daily hubbub of a network of new people she's still shakily getting to know. Whale-kun is easy enough to remember, given his hair has returned to its perfect whale coif, and he speaks only in whale puns. Others she remembers by their backstory. Half kitsune, born in the spirit realm, witch in training from a secret clan of witches dating centuries back, a guy with spiky hair who just really cares about soccer and teamwork. It's weird, in a way, trying to remember names and faces and personalities for people she had been targeting not so long ago, and even weirder to consider that some of them are friends. Kyoko is good at what she does. She's an invaluable aid, and she can feel how her presence turns tides of battles and even wars. It feels different, better somehow, to be using that power to aid in someone else's fight, to have a set of candy eyes watching her in gratitude, to see those who have been alone so long breaking down in gratitude, to save others from the same self-imposed solitude she suffered through for so long. Kyoko didn't stay to see the end of the competition. Takashi had won, like she knew he would, but he refused to tell her the details of it. Instead, he greets her every day at the corner, and talks about the weather on the way to school, and walks with his hands behind his head, elbows extended upward and out, prattling about this and that. He insists on savoring the breath of normalcy when they can, talking about normal things like the weather and school, and that there's no need to fill that time with unnecessary talk of contests and competitions and supernatural dramas. His bright pink hair catches the sun while they walk. It matches hers, just about. Mariko and Sakura are going to join them after school at the cafe at the edge of town, Takashi tells her. It's a little bit far, but it's the best compromise since they live a ways away, and a lot of trains route through that town. Mariko is taking a stab at finishing her art program, so she may be a little late. Ryosuke has to haggle with his lawyers this afternoon about setting up a payment plan, but he'll join later. That sounds nice, Kyoko answers. She walks forward, still finding it unreal to have Takashi walking alongside her again. The wind is gentle against her back. Birdsong trills on around her. It's a gentle morning, one where she doesn't have to be so on edge. Her heart aches with the gratitude that swells there, following the birdsong, wondering if it's okay to enjoy this, just for this moment, just for now. But I might get pulled away this afternoon. The kid, the one whose hair looks like a tomato, you remember him? He's in trouble with some demon king again. Takashi smiles, and it's that smile of his that Kyoko missed so much. I'll let the other 3 know. Either cafe or demon king this afternoon. It's up in the air for now. Bonus art, courtesy of Ghostfish as well. Yatta! Nani? Hee hee!